Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a follow-up video to the video I did before that was a best-selling craft item that I have done in the past, Santa boxes. So if you haven't watched that video, please go check it out. I will put it up here, link it up above. So check that out, watch that one, then come back and watch this one. I promise it will make so much more sense. But with that video, I got a lot of people asking a lot of questions and asking me to please do a video filming myself making the actual box, walking you through step by step, and then answering all those questions. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. This is a look at the items I'm gonna be using in the Santa box. Okay, so first things first, let's start with our box because you can't have a Santa box unless you have a box. So this is the box that I use. Now I did get asked about the size of the box that I use. This is the size that I used on my boxes. However, you can do whatever size you want. This was just what I did. I did choose to purchase the boxes from Walmart because you can get free boxes from USPS, which does save in cost. However, they have USPS all over them. And I wanted it to have a Christmas magical feel when I decorated it, and I wanted to be able to cover it up as much as I possibly could. So that is why I chose to go with these boxes. Now, this one's from Walmart, but you can order some on bulk. I was at one point ordering a lot on bulk from Amazon. So again, keep that in mind. Do your research on how much you want because you can get better quantities, but if you just want to kind of test the waters with a couple, I would recommend starting at Walmart and going from there. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tape up my box. Once you have your box ready, the first thing you need to know is, are you making it for one child, two, or three? The reason being that's going to dictate a lot of times how much you're going to fill the bottom with crinkle paper. Now, this you can get from the Dollar Tree, which is where I got this. We'll just open it up and dump the crinkle paper in. And as you can see, I mean, it fills it up some, but it's not a ton. But that's okay if you have like 2 or 3 kids because you're gonna have so much stuff on top of it that that's not really needed. But just for the sake of this, to make it the extra full for the video, we're gonna assume that we just have one child. And more often than not, you're gonna have 2 children in a box. And you can even split this up to where you have like a box of crinkle paper and just kind of take maybe a bag and a half or something like that. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna dump 2 bags in here. And then once you have your crinkle paper in, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to need to take, and just put this aside for a moment, is you're gonna need to take your Santa Claus and we wanna customize him. So what I would do is I would take each child's name. So each child would have their own little plush Santa doll in this box. The prices would start at $23 a box and they would go up by $2 for every child that was in the box. The reason being each child would get their own plush Santa, their own paint Santa kit, candy canes, things of that nature. So that is why it increased in the price. But for the sake of doing this one, we're gonna start out with this one here. And I would take a little bit of heat transfer vinyl and print it off on my Cricut. Now I had someone ask me, if you don't have a Cricut, how could you personalize this? And you know what, the thing that comes to my mind would be to go to like Michael's or Hobby Lobby and look for some kind of iron-on letter or something like that that you could specifically make towards a child. But I did use Cricut, and this is how I printed it off here. Once you cut it all off, is I would go ahead and position his name across Santa's chest and the year onto the hat. So it would look like this. Now, just to give you a very detailed how I did it here. So his name is a little over 2 inches and it is about ½ an inch in height as well. So that kind of gives you a guide as to the size of the name and the date that I put on here, because this is not a very big plush doll, so you don't want to overpower it. Now, once you have it where you want it, I am going to take my Cricut Easy Press Mini and I'm going to put it onto here. Now, I have done this what feels like every single way possible because of how many I did, but I actually tried to use my iron at one point. I found it was so large that you can do it, don't get me wrong, you can do it, but you need to be careful that you don't like smush poor little Santa's face and stuff like that. So another way you can do it is you can use a straightener. So if you don't have a Cricut Easy Press Mini or a petite little press of some kind, just take your hair straightener if you have one, a small hair straightener, and you can use it right here, and that should work for you as well. But today I am using my Cricut Easy Press Mini. So let's go ahead and press our Santa. So we're gonna do low heat to start. We'll work our way up in the heat as needed, but we're gonna do low heat and we're gonna do short, quick little presses. This is our custom little Santa doll. So we are done with him at the moment, so we'll go ahead and add him to the box. I found that when I was doing it, kind of an assembly line worked well. Cut off everything you need, make all your Santas, and you kind of assemble your boxes together. But so once you have your Santa in here, go ahead and add your little painting kit. Again, one for every child. Nobody wants to hear the fighting between the kids. So I always felt like as a parent, I would want one for each kid, so that is why I included it. And again, that's why the price went up $2, because every kid had their own stuff. So that is in there. Then next up, I would add some candy canes in here. I would always get my candy canes from the Dollar Tree because you can get a really good deal on those. But yeah, so candy canes are in there. And then here I would have some drawstring bags that I would use. Now the ones that I used before, I did order on Amazon. For the sake of making this video, I purchased these really quick at Hobby Lobby, and they were on sale. But you are definitely gonna get a better price if you order in bulk on Amazon. And I will link the exact ones that I used previously. But for the sake of this video, this is what I'm gonna be using. And I would customize this. Now this is our magic reindeer food bag that we would make in here. And I said it before in the previous video, and I just want to reiterate it again. Make sure you tell the parents when they're ordering it that this is magic reindeer food, that no one human needs to consume this. This is only pretend, because it's gonna have our oatmeal and our glitter. So along that line, I'm going to go ahead and take my heat transfer vinyl that I cut off that said magic reindeer food, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply it here. And while I'm doing that, I do want to mention that when I'm filling this bag up, I'm going to be using oatmeal and glitter because that's the way I did it in my other video. However, I did have a couple of comments of people mentioning that glitter is not the best thing to use if you're sprinkling it outside because of animals, etc. That someone suggested sugar. So I wanted to mention that as another option as well. If you are recommending that people sprinkle this outside, that maybe you include sugar instead. But for this video, I'm gonna include glitter. I have our magic reindeer food bag. Then what I would do is I would take a little bit of oatmeal and I would just kind of pour it in here. And again, a little goes a long way. I would take either red or green glitter and just kind of sprinkle it in, like so. And then just kind of toss it up because it will kind of go to the bottom. And suddenly we have a very, very, very cute little bag of magic reindeer food. So let's go ahead and add that in here, like so. The next thing you're gonna want and need to do is to create a letter from Santa to kind of give it that whole magical feel. So to do that, I would grab some Christmas paper. This is a whole pack of Christmas paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's $3, but it was on sale for 50% off. 25 sheets in here, so it goes a long way. You can use it for multiple boxes, but grab some Christmas paper. Now, what I would do is have parents kind of give me an idea of some things that their kids did really well. So if they did something they wanted Santa to mention, like, oh, you did really great with school this year, or helping out, or being kind, things like that. And Santa can include that in the letter. But make sure that you customize it to the child. And somebody had asked me if I would give like a sample of what I had written as one of my letters. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. I'm gonna put this right here for you. I'll read it real quick, just to give you guys an idea. So it says, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, Taylor. I've been working really hard up here at the North Pole to get ready for Christmas. The elves are finishing up the toys and the reindeer are getting ready for our big flight. I've checked my list twice, and you, Taylor, are on the nice list. My elves have reported back to me that you have done really well in school this year. You have an A in math. I've also heard that you have been extra nice to your sister this year and you've been very helpful taking care of your dog Zoe. This is just the kind of thing I love to hear. Make sure you keep up the good work. You've been so good that I'm sending you this box of goodies. Make sure you spread the magic reindeer food outside on Christmas Eve. Rudolph just loves the snack after a long night of flying. I have to go finish up some presents, but make sure to keep being good. Ho, 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 Santa Claus. And again, for me, I feel like the key to this is customizing it as much as possible. The dog's name, and thank you for being nice and calling the child by name. But that is kind of my example of what I did there. Then what I would do is I would take a little bit of ribbon and then I would just roll up the letter. And I would tie it with this Christmas ribbon. And this ribbon did come from the Dollar Tree as well. And in the past, I would also cut in adhesive vinyl the child's name and just stick it to the letter just to give it a little something extra. I actually forgot on this one, but that is something I would do as well, as put their name in adhesive vinyl here. Personally, I always tried to avoid my own handwriting as much as possible because I felt it gave it more of a magical feel if it didn't have my handwriting on it. But that is just my personal opinion. So, once you have this, you are set for the inside. When you are done with that, you can go ahead and close up your box because that part is done. So we'll go ahead and tape it closed. Now, because it came from Walmart, it has this lovely to and from. Isn't that kind? So I wanted to avoid that as much as possible. Again, I don't really want that showing. So I would make sure that this was coming over the top of this. So I wanted to put this like this and I would want it to be taped down. Now, I personally, instead of using tape on this part, just to make it look prettier, I would use this Elmers multi-purpose spray adhesive here. This worked wonders. However, tip, trick, note, important to note, spray it outside because everything it touches is sticky. So spray it outside and then I would apply it right here like so. Then after that came decorating the box. So let's move on to that. Okay, so real quick with this, what I always said was the address of Santa Claus, and I would do like 1225 for Christmas, the date for Christmas, Candy Cane Lane, North Pole, and then the person's address down here addressed to the child. Now, just to mention, as I was saying earlier, I sold these on Etsy. So I would wrap this in brown paper and address it to the parent. Tell the parent to make sure you intercept the package. Don't open it in front of your kid. Once you get it, then you can place it on the doorstep so that way it has the whole magical look. It doesn't have any postage stampings on it. So that's why I always wrapped it in brown paper and mailed it that way. Again, you can do it however you want. I just tried to keep as little postage of USPS stuck on my box as possible, and that's the only way I could think to do it. But once you have all that, I would then do some snowflakes out of adhesive vinyl that you see here. Now, this is just a clip art that I pulled in from Google and then was able to use that way. So I would just put it in various places along the box. And I would also use this. This is Elf Express, and I would put that in the corner like so, and just decorate around it to make it look super cute. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my transfer tape. And again, as you're making these, be sure to use your transfer tape more than once to help save on expenses, because you can use a transfer tape piece over and over and over again. I wish I had kept count of how many times I was able to use the same piece of transfer tape. It can be crooked, it can be straight, whatever you think looks magical. And then after that, I would move on to doing each individual snowflake. And there's no particular place. Every box I did looked a little different. It really did. No two boxes were exactly the same on the outside. And voila, we have a Christmas box. Hope you guys liked making the Santa box with me. If you did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if I missed your question, I'm so sorry. Please be sure to drop it down below and I will do my best to answer. Thanks for watching.